Once upon a time, there lived a kind and gentle lady named Eliza. She was known throughout the village for her kindness, her generosity, and her heartwarming smile. Eliza's mother had passed away when she was just a child, leaving her in the care of her father and her stepmother, Agnes. Agnes was a woman who contrasted sharply with Eliza. She was known for her selfishness, her greed, and her inability to ever see the beauty in the world. She was jealous of the love and admiration the village had for Eliza, and she took every opportunity to make Eliza's life miserable. One day, a rumor spread throughout the village that a rare, magical flower, known as the Heart's Delight, grew deep in the forest. This flower was said to have the power to bring happiness and joy to anyone who possessed it. Eliza, with her caring heart, decided to embark on a journey to find the flower and bring its happiness to her stepmother. Agnes, however, heard of this and saw it as an opportunity to rid herself of Eliza for good. She pretended to be supportive and gave her a basket with rotten food, telling her that it was a necessary provision for her journey. Unbeknownst to Eliza, Agnes had other wicked plans in mind. As Eliza ventured into the forest, she came across a kind old man who warned her that the path ahead was treacherous and filled with danger. He also told her of Agnes' wicked plans. Eliza was disheartened but determined to complete her mission. Eliza encountered many challenges and dangers in the forest, but her kindness and pure heart attracted the forest creatures. Birds guided her with their songs, squirrels brought her food, and a wise old owl shared his wisdom. Eventually, after days of traveling, Eliza found the Heart's Delight. Its radiant petals shone with an otherworldly glow. She carefully picked the flower and placed it in her basket. As she began her journey back, she stumbled upon a lost, injured bird. Eliza bandaged its wing and cared for it, delaying her return. Meanwhile, Agnes grew impatient. She couldn't bear to wait any longer and decided to go into the forest herself. The forest sensed her wickedness, and it rejected her, causing her to become lost and confused. Eliza, guided by her compassion and the forest creatures, returned home safely. When she arrived, the magical flower had lost some of its glow, but it still held its power to bring happiness. She gave it to Agnes, who, in her changed state, was moved by Eliza's kindness. The next day, Agnes confessed her wicked plans and asked for forgiveness. She had been humbled by the forest rejection and the warmth of Eliza's heart. Eliza forgave her, and they began to live together in harmony. After Eliza's act of kindness and her forgiveness of her stepmother Agnes, she decided to venture to the next village, where a prince with a notorious reputation for his anger and cruelty ruled. Eliza believed that if she could bring happiness to her own family, she could surely do the same for the people living in the neighboring village. As Eliza arrived at the neighboring village, she couldn't help but notice the stark contrast to her own. The villagers lived in fear of the prince and his oppressive rule over the entire land. It was said that the prince had never been seen smiling, and he had a habit of imposing harsh taxes on the villagers. Undeterred by the warnings of the villagers, Eliza approached the palace, carrying the now less radiant but still powerful Heart's Delight flower. The guards, who were used to dealing with countless attempts to bring joy to the prince, let her through without much resistance. When Eliza finally reached the prince, he was in a foul mood, scolding servants and throwing things in a fit of rage. She approached him with the gentlest smile, and her aura of kindness seemed to calm the very air around her. She presented the Heart's Delight flower and told him of its magical ability to bring happiness to those who possessed it. The prince, intrigued but skeptical, accepted the flower. As he held it in his hands, he felt a warmth he hadn't experienced before. A flicker of a smile crossed his face, and he couldn't believe the change in his own emotions. The flower's magic began to work its wonders, and the prince's heart started to soften. He realized the misery he had inflicted on his people and how empty his life had been. Touched by Eliza's kindness and the power of the flower, the prince decided to amend his ways. He reduced the harsh taxes, treated his subjects with kindness, and started to smile more often. The entire village was shocked for showing goodwill, and joy filled the once oppressive land. Eliza now brought happiness to her own family, and the neighboring village had been a resounding success. She returned to her own village, where the people celebrated her as a true heroine. Her act of kindness and the power of the heart's delight flower had not only transformed her stepmother Agnes but had also brought happiness to the prince and his people. As time passed, the prince's transformation from a tyrant to a benevolent ruler continued, and his heart grew warmer with each passing day. He found himself thinking more and more about Eliza, the lady who had brought happiness to his life and his kingdom. One day, unable to contain his feelings any longer, the prince sought out Eliza in her own village. He arrived with the flowers of the heart's delight, their radiance reflecting the love that had blossomed within him. As he presented the flowers to Eliza, he confessed his feelings, saying, "You, dear Eliza, have brought joy not only to my kingdom but also to my heart. I have come to realize that it is you who brings happiness wherever you go, and I want to be a part of that happiness." Eliza was taken aback by the prince's words and the transformation he had undergone. She had not journeyed to the neighboring village seeking love or admiration, but the sincerity in the prince's eyes touched her heart. She recognized that he had truly changed and had become a kind and loving person. Over time, their love grew, and they were married in a grand celebration that united the two villages. The prince and Eliza ruled together, ensuring that both their kingdoms lived in peace and prosperity. The heart's delight flowers continued to bloom, not only in their gardens but also in the hearts of the people. The story of Eliza and the prince served as a testament to the transformative power of kindness and love. It taught the villagers of both kingdoms that change is possible when one is willing to let go of anger, embrace happiness, and open their hearts to love and compassion. Eliza's journey not only brought happiness but also love into her life, proving that the power of a kind heart can touch even the most hardened souls. As Eliza and the prince ruled their kingdoms with love and kindness, their happiness attracted the attention of a powerful and jealous witch named Morgana. Morgana lived in the depths of the enchanted forest, and her heart was consumed by envy and darkness. She could not stand to see Eliza and the prince's love and the joy they had brought to their lands. Determined to destroy their happiness, Morgana devised a wicked plan. She concocted a potent potion that would render Eliza powerless, stripping her of her kindness and the magic of the heart's delight flower. Morgana's dark magic was so strong that it was hidden from the eyes of the villagers and the prince, who were completely unaware of her malevolent intentions. One fateful night, Morgana disguised herself as a beggar and approached Eliza, who was walking alone in the palace gardens. She begged for food and shelter, using her disguise to get close to her unsuspecting target. Eliza's compassionate nature led her to invite the beggar into the palace, where she offered a meal and a place to rest. Unbeknownst to Eliza, the meal was laced with the potion Morgana had brewed. As Eliza took a single bite, the potion took effect, draining her of her kindness and happiness. Her once benevolent heart turned cold and cruel, and her love for the prince withered away. The prince noticed the sudden change in Eliza's behavior and grew deeply concerned. He sought advice from a wise old sage, who revealed the presence of dark magic at play. Determined to save Eliza, the prince went on a perilous journey into the forest to confront Morgana. Morgana, sensing the prince's determination, appeared before him in all her wickedness. She revealed her nefarious plot and gloated about how she had stolen Eliza's kindness and happiness. The prince, with courage fueled by love, challenged Morgana. Their battle raged through the enchanted forest, with powerful spells and incantations exchanged. In the end, it was the purity of the prince's love for Eliza that made him win over Morgana. With a burst of light, he managed to break the curse and free Eliza from Morgana's influence. As the enchantment lifted, Eliza's kindness and happiness returned, and her love for the prince was rekindled. Morgana was overcome in battle, was sent into exile, never to trouble their lands again. The prince and Eliza's love grew even stronger, having overcome the darkness that had threatened to tear them apart. The tale of their love and the triumph of good over evil became a legend that inspired generations, reminding all that love and kindness can conquer even the darkest of intentions. The moral of the story is that love, kindness, and the purity of the heart can withstand the most malevolent forces. It is a reminder that when love is true and unyielding, it has the power to overcome any adversity, no matter how powerful or wicked it may be. And also acts of kindness and compassion have the power to transform even the most tyrannical hearts. Eliza's gentle nature and the magic of the Heart's Delight flower demonstrated that true change begins with a willingness to let go of anger and embrace happiness, kindness, and love. Kindness and compassion can transform even the most wicked hearts. Agnes' wickedness was her own undoing, and Eliza's pure heart not only saved her but also brought happiness to their home. The Heart's Delight flower symbolizes the idea that true happiness comes not from external sources but from the love and kindness we share with others.